Okay, we are going to talk about Yogi's temperament evaluation. So first thing I want you to understand is that this is a spectrum. It's like a sliding scale. It's not like low is bad and high is good. That's not how it works. So the first thing that you notice is I'm going to put Yogi into the testing area, and then I'm watching to see how he handles. It's a new environment, it's new obstacles, things they haven't seen before or smelled before. And is his tail up? Is his tail down? Does he check things out, or is he just sitting in a corner waiting to be rescued? And you'll notice for exactly 45 seconds that I think he was getting ready for a nap. So he wasn't quite sure at first, and he kind of just stood there, and his tail wasn't like up, but his tail was tucked, and he's kind of looking around. And then the 45-second mark, bing, his tail is high, he's checking things out, he is very happy to be there, and he's ready to go. And then what you'll also notice is he kind of explores a few things, and then he does like a shake off. This is a way a dog handles stress. He's like, yep, shakes it off, and he's like, okay, I got this, let's go. That's just another little sign of saying that, like, okay, I see that this is new, but it doesn't have to be scary, and this is my way of adjusting. Gives a little shake, and he carries on. The next thing you're going to notice is I get into the testing area, and then I have a seat, and I wait for him to approach, and I see whether he's like army crawling over, or does he politely crawl into my lap, or is he like trying to get at my face as close and fast as possible. And so I scored him a medium. So what that looks like is he kind of politely crawls into my lap, and then he puts his head on the crook of my arm, and he's like, okay, what's next? The next thing that I'm looking for is confidence level. So I'm looking for this throughout the test as well. So I scored him a medium only because of those few first seconds in the beginning. And then there was times where he's like, okay, he's just kind of wandering about. But the rest of the test, he was very confident. He was happy to try new things. And so this is an area that I think all dogs can grow in. So I scored him a medium, but kind of like a review where you want them to work on it as at home. We want to build and empower dogs and show them that they don't have to be scared of new situations. So motivation level, workability, how badly do they want to please their people? So he got a medium. He actually was really keen to try things like the bridge and the tunnel. And then when it came to like playing with the toys, he was a little less interested, which you'll see later on. I score his prey drive as a low, and that's because he occasionally chased the toy, and you saw that like at one point he kind of scampers after the ball, but generally he didn't love it. So he was very happy to try things that weren't necessarily related to toys. So you see that he tries the bridge, and he's very proud of himself when he tries the bridge. And then he tries the tunnel, and he tries the tarp, like walking over the crinkly bag. No issues. He's very happy to try those things and try things I was asking. Nerve strength and resiliency. So their ability to handle stress is something making them shaky. And so what I noticed actually as I was walking into the room and I was holding Yogi, he had just a little bit of shakiness, and then as soon as I put him down, there was no shakiness the rest of testing. And again, this is something that we can build into a dog. We want them to be able to manage stress better by introducing new experiences for them in a positive way. So he got a medium. Nothing really kind of veered him off course. He was kind of happy to try everything. Nothing was making him shaky or scared or nervous or shut down. But yeah, again, I think we can all be building this into our dogs as well. Touch tolerance. I gave him a medium because normally, you've seen in the videos, if you've watched him, he's very high to touch tolerance. And this is not how much a puppy enjoys it, it's how tolerant they are. So like a vet or a groomer, handling a dog is not necessarily enjoyable, but some dogs are more tolerant to being touched. And what that translates into is maybe a kid grabs their tail inappropriately, or, pulls on their ear too hard or something. How much is that dog going to care? A dog that has a higher touch tolerance is going to manage those situations better than a dog or puppy that has a low touch tolerance. And so a home that has like really grabby kids or whatever, a puppy with a low touch tolerance is maybe not a good fit. That being said, it is also something that we should be working on with our dogs through daily massages and that 10-step handling, exposure to grooming tools, blow dryer, all of those things is increasing with touch tolerance. Energy level, I give him a medium because a low energy dog kind of sits and they take breaks and they walk around during the test, and a high energy dog kind of spins circles and they never slow down. Whereas he was kind of running around, but then he would take a little break where he would walk and kind of like saunter around, and then he would speed up again. So he's going to be happy to go on a family adventure, but then he's also going to be happy to settle down afterwards. Sound sensitivity. So I have like a Fisher Price popper where it shakes and it makes a lot of noise. And what I'm not looking for whether he notices or not. I'm looking for whether it causes him stress or he startles and recovers or not. That's what I'm looking for. And for that one, he didn't even notice. Even when I like put it on the floor, he came over and he was checking it out, which was great to see. He's like, new sound, no problem. Sight sensitivity. So I kind of pop the tunnel and see if he startles to like a quick movement, which can be a struggle if there are, again, young kids that are fast and running through the house. Those can be more startling to a puppy that has a low sight sensitivity. A high sensitivity, if they're more sensitive to it. So yeah, he got a medium for that. He saw it, and then you can see he kind of freezes, and he stares at the tunnel, and he watches it for a few seconds, and then he goes about his business. He doesn't necessarily explore it, but he just kind of goes the other way. But he wasn't bothered by it. It did not cause him stress, and he wasn't like shutting down. So again, prey drive. I scored him a low because he wasn't super interested. I do think that he's probably going to enjoy some toys, but overall, it's by no means not. It's not intense. And human focus. I gave him a medium because he kept checking back in with me, and he was very happy to be with me. And then even at the beginning, he was kind of seeking me out for comfort, but then he would kind of disappear. So he's kind of right in the middle. I think he's really going to enjoy his people, but it's not going to be so intense that if his people are gone, long hours or whatnot, he's going to be okay to be on his own too, which I think is a nice balance. Tender-hearted. So I scored him a moderately, because he came and checked on me. So you see that I like cry and pretend to have a tantrum, and then he comes and he runs over and he like kind of checks me out. But then he's like, okay, well, now I'm going to pull on your hair because we're going to play and we're going to get back to business. Which is good. We need some moderately tender-hearted dogs that can handle bigger emotions and not kind of crumble into an emotional puddle with us. Dog friendliness. He was very happy. He did kind of keep noticing the dog. Kept checking back in, but then when Kiva came in, he was happy to play with her, but then they didn't really get into it, not overly interested, so I think he'll do well whether or not there's a dog in the home. Either way, I think he'll be good. So if you have any questions on Yogi, let me know.